It always starts the same. A wholesome little daydream, eggs in a basket, a happy hen in the yard. You picture yourself in an apron, smiling, sunlight, probably barefoot for no reason, gathering warm eggs like some kind of goddess. So you do it. You get chickens, maybe just a few, something manageable, 3 hens and a dream. At first, it's everything you hoped for. You're bonding with your girls, figuring out names, learning the difference between a pullet and a full-blown dinosaur. You're calculating egg math with pride, not realizing this is the first stage of poultry possession. Then you meet someone, online, at a farm swap, maybe in a dark corner of Craigslist, who says 10 cursed words. Have you ever thought about raising quail instead of chickens? No, you hadn't. You were stable. You were normal. But now, suddenly, your algorithm is whispering about Coturnix like it knows your soul. And that's where the showdown begins. Chickens, in their defense, lay solid, respectable eggs. Big ones, sometimes pastel ones, the kind you can poach or fry with one hand while carrying a toddler and ignoring 19 other tasks. They're dependable. Drama queens, but dependable. You can count on them to deliver 1 egg a day, give or take their mood, the weather, or whether or not you have the audacity to change their feed brand without consulting them first. A happy hen in her prime can lay around 250 to 300 eggs a year. That's nearly a dozen a week from just one bird, assuming she doesn't decide to go broody and fake her own death in the nesting box for 3 weeks straight. And if you curate your flock just right, you'll get a whole pastel rainbow, blues, greens, browns, even the occasional pinkish hue that makes you feel like you're living in Martha Stewart's photo shoot. But quail, they lay designer eggs, speckled, petite, precious, like Fabergé eggs, but edible. And they start laying fast, like teenage rebellion levels of fast. 6 weeks old and already producing like they've got rent due. Meanwhile, your chickens are out there living their best preteen lives, freeloading and pretending to be delicate while you're Googling how to tell if my chicken is faking maturity. A single Coturnix hen can lay an average of 300 eggs per year too, but here's where it gets good. Quail hens don't really take the winters off if given supplemental lighting and proper housing. Chickens, as soon as daylight dips below their beauty standards and the weather displeases them, they stop laying and act like it's your fault the sun doesn't love them anymore. But the flip side, quail eggs are small. Like, I sneezed and lost one small. You'll need at least 4 for a decent breakfast, and you'll probably crush 2 trying to open them unless you've got the grip strength of a surgeon and the patience of a saint. You'll find yourself researching quail scissors at 11 p.m. and defending them like a sommelier defending their favorite corkscrew. Still, there's something addictive about cracking open a galaxy speckled egg every morning. It feels like nature's caviar. And suddenly you're eating 6 just for the aesthetic, arranging them on a cutting board with microgreens like you're the host of an underground farm-to-table brunch cult. They're bite-sized dopamine, and once you've tasted that high, it's over. Let's talk logistics. Chickens are loud. Not, oh, how quaint she clucked loud, more like someone called the HOA a banshee moved in loud. They scream to announce eggs. They scream when someone else announces an egg. They scream when you walk past with snacks and dare to feed someone else first. Even the calmest, most angelic hen can go full opera diva the moment the coop door closes late. And don't even get me started on roosters. One rooster turns your peaceful mornings into a competitive yelling match between birds who are convinced the sun will not rise without their input. As for space, chickens are real estate agents with feathers. They need room. 4 square feet per bird inside the coop. 10 outside. Minimum. And even then, they'll act like it's a prison yard. They'll destroy grass in under a week, turn a dust bath into a crater, and still give you the side eye like you ruined the landscape. Now quail are the introverts of the poultry world. They're not interested in free ranging. They'd rather be tucked in a secure pen with snacks, bedding, and zero drama. You can raise 1 to 2 quail in 1 square foot of space. Yes, that's how compact they are. Perfect for backyards, garages, even apartment balconies if your landlord has a loose definition of pet. And they're quiet, painfully quiet, to the point where you'll double check to make sure they're still alive. The males have a short crow that sort of sounds like a songbird. But don't let the silence fool you. These birds are chaos gremlins in disguise. They're Olympic-level jumpers with no regard for ceiling height. Start a 1 and it'll ricochet off the lid like a feathered ping pong ball, usually straight into your face. They're Houdinis with wings. Forget to secure the corner of a cage? Gone. 1 second you have 20, the next, 19 in a blur of movement in your neighbor's flower bed. Chickens are drama. They form cliques like high schoolers. There's always a Regina George. There's always a Karen. Someone's always being pecked at in the corner while the others pretend not to notice. They'll bond with you. Kind of. If you bring snacks, they'll act like your best friend. If you don't, they'll chase you down like you owe them money. They imprint on your routine, stalk you through windows, and scream if you dare to sit on the porch without inviting them into your emotional process. Some hens are sweet. They let your toddler cradle them like a baby doll, fall asleep in your lap, and even tolerate little chicken tutus if you're that person. Others will yeet themselves directly into your face because your shadow offended them. You just never know. It's Russian roulette in a feathered trench coat. But quail don't do drama. They don't have time for it. They're feral, flighty, wired like caffeine-addicted squirrels with commitment issues. They're not trying to be your friend. They're trying to survive in a world where giants, that's you, keep showing up with kale and vibes. Their default setting is run, and their backup setting is explode upward at 40 miles per hour. You can raise 100 quail and not get emotionally attached to a single one. Or you can name them all after Lord of the Rings characters and still cry when one dies because it finally started trusting you. The emotional whiplash is real. They don't struggle, they don't coo. You're the butler, not the friend. If you forget their millet for one day, they'll plot your downfall with unsettling intensity. But every once in a while, one will let you hold it. One will stare at you with its tiny marble eyes like it sees your soul. And that's it. You're doomed. You'll cancel your weekend plans because Bilbo needs extra cuddle time and you're not like other quail noms. This is where the real madness lives. You think you're going to try it. One incubator, one clutch, one sweet little lesson in the miracle of life. Lies. All of it. Chicken eggs take 21 days to hatch, which sounds short until you spend all 21 days hovering like a helicopter parent, adjusting humidity levels and whispering affirmations into the vent holes. You candle them every other night, convinced you're chicken doula now. You research egg positioning, air cell angles, hatch timelines, and optimal pip hole behavior like you're preparing for a poultry-themed AP biology exam. And when they finally pip, you cancel everything. You sit in the dark, watching them like a Netflix binge you can't pause. You scream, you cry, you lose sleep. It's a religious experience. Then quail come along and ruin you. Quail eggs, 17 days, sometimes less. They'll pip and zip in under 2 minutes while you're out making toast. They don't do slow reveals. They emerge like popcorn, fast, sudden, everywhere. You'll blink and there are 12 wet, chirping beans staring at you, plotting immediate escape. And they're tiny. So tiny. Like, is that a bird or a mosquito tiny? Which means you'll start hatching more because they're cute, because they don't take up space, because your brain has now convinced you that volume is the answer. Soon you've got 3 incubators named like medieval ships, the Brood Queen, Hatchzilla, and Egbert, and they're all running constantly. You start phrases with this next hatch like you're on season 7 of a reality show. You create spreadsheets, you talk about fertility rates with strangers. You pretend you're going to sell the extras just to make yourself feel better. You don't. You never do. You keep them. You divide them by color and temperament like some kind of avian Hogwarts. You're breeding your own line of emotionally unavailable fluff nuggets and acting like it's a public service. Here's the part no one warned you about. You will absolutely lose control. You'll start with one bird species and the best intentions, but then it creeps in. The chicken math, the quail multiplier, the belief that just one more incubator might finally solve something broken inside of you. Chickens make you feel like a farmer, like you're connected to the earth, like you could survive an apocalypse with just a shovel, some grit, and barred rock named Betty. Quail make you feel like a mad scientist, like you could create the perfect quail, like you could corner the local egg market and overthrow capitalism with nothing but protein and charm. And both birds, they give you a sense of control. Until they don't. Until your coop becomes a crime scene, your brooder smells like a barn exploded, and you're Googling can quail have seasonal depression at 2 a.m. You'll have egg baskets in the kitchen, incubators in the hallway, heat plates in the living room, and friends who stopped asking questions months ago. And worst of all, you'll love it. You'll wake up each morning to a symphony of crowing and chirping and think, maybe I should try ducks.